Professor Crescenzi, if you could talk a little bit about what the main challenges for industrial policy leadership are now that we're faced with this huge disruption globally in terms of supply chains and in terms of domestic and international production. What do you think some of the biggest challenges are facing industrial policy moving forward?
Well, big challenges were being faced by industrial policies well before the COVID-19 crisis started. Industrial policy moved from being a sort of forbidden word for many years into taking center stage immediately after the previous 2008-2009 recession. COVID-19 has only reinforced the need for quick and effective responses by the governments through public policies in order to address problems of persistent lack of economic growth, unemployment, and lack of innovation. A number of challenges emerged with COVID-19 as a result of COVID-19. Therefore, the design and the implementation of industrial policies need to be talked through even more carefully, because we need to act now. We need policies, we need instruments that can work now in order to address in a fast and reliable manner, and at the same time cost-effective manner, the challenges raised by COVID-19. Three key points emerged from the current scholarly and public policy debate on these issues. The first is that we need coordinated responses. We need countries to come up with coordinated responses with the industrial policies that do not jeopardize each other, that are the result of cooperation and integration across countries. Second, that we need to take into account the implications of globalization in terms of employment and opportunities for people on the ground. And third, that we do need to take into account the significant diversity, not only across countries, but also within countries. How industrial policies will generate different effects, will give different opportunities to people, firms, and individuals in different subnational contexts, cities, regions within countries.
What do you think that the leaders of tomorrow, what are some of the biggest challenges then that they will face from the political leadership within their respective countries when approaching these problems?
Well, the problem of political leadership is a key problem when thinking about industrial policies. Research shows that for policies to be effective, in terms of selection of the tools, in terms of implementation, but also in terms of learning from the policy themselves, in terms of implementing serious, reliable, accountable evaluation of the tools that have been used in order to learn for subsequent interventions, require a strong leadership, require vision, require an in-depth understanding by policymakers as well as civil servants of the characteristics of the policies, of the challenges that people are facing on the ground. So this is a big challenge for leadership at all levels, from the supranational in terms of coordination across countries. So this requires going beyond simple electoral considerations, but having a longer-term view. This implies having a vision at the national level in terms of what are the national strategies, what are the priorities, what are the key trade-offs that need to be balanced. But also this means leadership at the subnational level in terms of regional governments, in terms of city-level governments. Mayors are going to play an incredibly important role in the post-COVID economy. Think about the implication of working from home for cities, for example, and our life in cities. So mayors and local administrators and policymakers will play a remarkably important role in the post-COVID-19 economy. And we need to train people for these leadership challenges.
What do you think the role of the state should be in engaging international cooperation? Because we also see a fair amount of reshoring sentiment that states are engaging in, and some sort of an anti-globalization sentiment that is moving from the ground upwards. So what do you think the role of the state is in mitigating these sentiments and moving forward productively and cooperatively?
Well, this is clearly, this seems a simple recipe for, and an appealing recipe, if you want, for governments around the world. We are facing a major, unprecedented recession. What do we need to do? Well, something easy is to reshore, to bring back activities that are currently pursued abroad, and to give incentives for firms to bring those activities back, with the idea that this will bring back jobs to the home country. However, when we more carefully research the labor market consequences, in particular of the reshoring, the offshoring of economic activities, we do find that the firms that are offshoring their activities abroad are gaining, in fact, both in terms of their own performance, but also in terms of the employment levels of their domestic labor markets. So reshoring activities, giving incentives to reshore activities, might lead to a loss of jobs, both in the foreign country and in the domestic economy. So this might be a situation, a scenario where both countries, the home and the host country, are worse off. Therefore, this highlights the idea that we do need cooperation, we do need to engage in internationalization and global integration as the only feasible recipe to mitigate the employment, productivity, and ultimately well-being consequences of COVID-19.
Join the Maryam Forum.
Join the Maryam Forum.
Join the Maryam Forum.
Join the Maryam Forum.